Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Aaron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. And guys, we have an epic replay for you guys today here in the Anchorage. Now, a few things before we kind of get into the strategy around this one. The Anchorage is one of those ships that a lot of people have been getting very good replays in. And now I don't think it necessarily needs a nerf, but I do wonder sometimes what the Wargaming balancing department is doing, because this ship, when it initially came out, I thought was very balanced. I thought it was even a little bit strong in its rental phase. But then the standard player base got their hands on it, and Wargaming came out and buffed the damn thing. So sometimes I really wonder what the balancing department is doing, but that is not me calling for a nerf, although my input has absolutely zero to do with what the developers do or adjust to the game. Some people are like, oh, well, the CC said it should get a nerf, so it's their fault. Not once has the balancing department ever listened to me and my videos on how to balance a game. With that being said, though, I needed any part of the OP-ness and reload that the Anchorage has to offer in this game, because once again, we get on the blue team instead of the red team, which is kind of just a running joke. But it is honestly, games like these that kind of keep us coming back for more, and you guys will find out why towards the end of this video. Now, with that being said, you guys can see that early off, we are down to a little bit of a disadvantage because there's a pretty good set of players on the enemy team. I do know J and P. I believe I do. I think I've had a few interactions with him, but him and his division are a triple division of super testers, and yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Now, a little sidebar here. A super tester does not automatically equal an amazing player. With that being said, I believe these guys are pretty good players themselves, but sometimes people just automatically see that someone is a CC or wargaming staff or super tester, and that automatically equals super unicum, which is just not the case. Now, again, for this example, J&P is a very good player, but regardless, let's go ahead and get into the strategy here. Right off the bat, you can see that there are no destroyers in this game, or I hope you have seen that by looking at the ship alignment. So in this situation, it's actually kind of ideal for us because the job of the Anchorage is pure DPM, and you guys can see already we have ticked our first epic reload here, and we are already up to 43,000 damage. That Vanguard has decided to donate a good chunk of damage to us. On top of that, the Bismarck is following suit and he was sort of angling a little bit more than the Vanguard, but he is, again, with the smokescreen, just putting himself in a position to lose a lot of health. But I'm glad that he didn't, and you guys will find out why a little bit later on. Stay tuned. You're going to want to see what happens in this video. About this time, I realized that my teammates are not really putting themselves in the best position. We have an on-halt behind us, which has a good amount of health. So again, you don't want to rush in. There's always two ways to play, right? There's more than two ways. But you don't want to YOLO rush in, such as this Vanguard did, and lose all of your health. But you also don't want to sit back, especially in one of these ships with the most health, and just not be involved in the fight, especially when you have yourself a battleship, which your job is to tank and attract damage. But here, kind of applying one of the principles of a cruiser player, is looking at the entire battlefield. That is when we notice that the triple division in the middle there is heavily influencing the game. We've got that John Bart pushing forward, but we have a beautiful angle on him, and yeah, kind of hitting these shells here. Those were a touch high, 1 shatter and 3 bounces there. But hitting these AP, shots at mid-range, or even long range here at around 15 kilometers, as you can see, is going to net us a good amount of damage. Now, of course, the HE is going to work pretty well on all French battleships because we have 203 millimeter HE, which will penetrate the 32. But with the third kill and the flesh wound on the Vanguard there, you can see that our team is down, 3 ships pretty quickly here as we give our team a good job. And at this point, I believe I was just kind of frustrated on stream. I was like, all right, we're going for it. We see this Bismarck coming around the corner here, and we have torpedoes. And guys, what you're about to witness is probably one of my best displays of torpedoing ever, as we lose a 4th ship. So that is 4 ships down, none of which being destroyers in 5 minutes, and 3 of those ships were actually battleships. So if you can't manage your battleship health in 3 minutes, then yeah, I don't know what to tell you there. But we get one set going off there. The Bismarck kind of realized his mistake. He's turning out of it, but it is too late for him. And that is when we notice this Mogami. Now, I'm going to be quite honest. I should have gotten more on this Mogami, but just stay tuned because we get pretty much everything we need to in this game. We got 3 pens, and that is when the Vanguard kind of realizes that I have my right set of torpedoes. We probably get overpenned in this situation, but with the amount of RNG that was going against us, we needed every piece of RNG that we could get, and we got it in that salvo. 3 torpedoes connected for the Dev Strike and the High Caliber in 5 minutes, and with a quick rush of the Anchorage here, we put ourselves in a good spot to pull this game back. Unfortunately, we don't have any cap control really, and I'm going to be quite honest, smoking up, as I said on stream, was a mistake in this situation. I just didn't want to be farmed anymore, but honestly, we could have easily traded because that Mogami there didn't really show that he was, he knew too much about angling. But if you kind of look at our team's position, they're all behind us still, and I don't know why. Again, we mentioned that Anhalt has around 70,000 health. Now, I guess to be the devil's advocate here, to play devil's advocate, he is at least alive where 4 of our other teammates are dead. So if you find yourself dying early on, don't do that. Now, again, there's a fine line, right? We have kind of reached the halfway point in this game, and you guys will notice we have used about half of our health. Use the time on the clock and break it up into thirds, right? The first 5 minutes, the second 5 minutes, and the final 5 minutes. If you're not using your health, your health should correspond with those thirds, right? The game is about half over or a third over here, and we have about 2/3, or we've used a third of our hit points. So I hope that kind of makes sense to you. Some people just donate their health in the beginning, in the middle, and the end, but if you kind of use your HP accordingly, then you will notice. I feel like you'll notice yourself getting a lot better results. It's just I don't understand, and I guess I never will. I feel like I say this once a week, how people can continually just go out and get absolutely blapped and continue to play and make the same mistakes. If you make a mistake, it's okay, but if you don't learn from that mistake, it's a problem. It's like crashing your car, and it's like, and then you go out and make the same mistake. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the strategy portion of the game, talking about the game. And if you guys noticed, I actually took the long way around this island here. I wanted to surprise this Mogami, but he kind of did the smart thing, and he is now retreating towards the rest of his team. Hindsight is always 20/20, and I probably should have went through my smoke screen there into the A island, but you can kind of see the position of my team, and if I was detected and those ships had kind of moved in from Bravo, I would have been the only one that they would have really had access to, and considering I just used my smoke screen a little prematurely there, and I didn't have any more heals, I would have been focused and probably killed in a short, amount of time. Now, again, we could have used our concealment, depending, but and you will actually see that this Mogami did the smart thing and retreated. But because of our push here, we are actually gaining a pretty good little flank. Now, I never recommend going too far into the enemy backfield, and we are basically in their spawn at this point. But with the position of our team and the position of the enemy team, it's going to work out rather well for us if you kind of see that we are gaining angle on a majority of their ships that are now facing all of our ships in the Alpha Cap region. Now, that being said, it really pains me when I see destroyers do this kind of thing, just avoiding caps and avoiding all responsibilities to try and get torpedoes in the enemy backfield. So again, it's not for every ship, but if you can put yourself in a decent spot to do so, you definitely want to get out here and get a flank. And as you can see now, we have access to that Mogami as well as that Iowa, or New Jersey rather, in the cap there. Now, if you guys are paying attention to the scoreboard, as you should be, you should see that we are still down 2 caps. Well, we really haven't even captured A yet, but we are still down 2 caps and over 400 points. So unless we get 3 or 4 of these kills here in immediate succession and also grab the Bravo cap, we are going to have to secure all of the kills on the enemy team, and this is why it is so important to not give up those advantages early on. Now, we did have a friendly Hampshire in this game get a pretty decent score as well, so he was doing the appropriate thing, but the majority of our team just immediately gave up any cap control, and we kind of had to pick up the slack there. Now, I will say that the red team did put on a little bit of a throw, and they kind of single file pushed into us one by one. But a majority of their mistakes were made because of our position. As you can see, one of my favorite shots. This has to be one of my favorite shots in the game. Kind of this mid to long range shot there. 12 shells from the Anchorage, and good night. thanks for playing. I'm glad we didn't get that hit earlier because it saved the dev strike for us now, although I feel like I should have gotten the dev strike earlier. But that kill combined with J and P going down soon after has put our team in a much better position, and what was almost an assured loss is now looking like it could be a win. And that is when the other Vanguard pops up. Unfortunately, like I mentioned, I don't have my smoke. Now here I could have pushed in, but the other ship right in that cap is a New Jersey, which can overmatch me. So what we're going to do in this situation is angle out and try and draw these ships into us. If they come out and chase us, that leaves up, a lot of opportunity and potential for our team to get into the cap or to open up angles to shoot them. What you don't want to do in this situation is exactly what the red team did and push in one by one and kind of allow yourselves to get out-angled and outflanked. But here, this Vanguard, he cannot overmatch us. Now, we are kind of at an angle where we're getting all of our guns on target, as you saw. He got a few overpens and maybe one pen there. But if we completely angle up, then, we're not worried about a Vanguard. Now, like I said, the reason we didn't push in is we are worried about a New Jersey, but our team is now pushing in and doing a decent job of kind of focusing and eliminating him. On top of that, a little, playing of the rudder there and a little angling. And yeah, this this Vanguard as well as the other one have donated about probably 60 to 80,000 HP worth of damage to our damage total here. But we've got him on a double fire, and even if he heals, he will be going down rather quickly. Now, this position that I'm in, I probably should have went dark and repositioned, but we actually get the kill on the Vanguard here. And with that kill, the enemy only has one ship left. On top of that, we have 4 kills here with high caliber and 2 dev strikes with a 241,000 damage total. I believe high caliber was around 140. So we have nearly gotten, I'd probably wager to say, half of the damage available to us. Now, of course, with heals and different things like that, it doesn't exactly work out like that, but somebody can run the math, and we've gotten a good amount of damage here. Unfortunately, there is one ship left alive, and he is not detected. And if the game continues to tick out like this, we are down under 3 minutes now, he will actually get the solo warrior. So if this player, and I said it on stream, I said if this guy has a brain, then we probably lose. And that is when he gets detected. He is a Chapayev, and he is actually kiting. He's doing the right thing. In this situation, the right thing to do is to run. He was not there to help support his team earlier. I mean, he's already done his job, right? He won his side. His team is the one who failed him in this situation. Unfortunately, it looks like he was going to get away, and I don't exactly know how he got spotted or what he got shot by, but our team does a fantastic job in the end here of cleaning up this kill. You can see everybody is shooting him. I am moving into position to try and intercept him. We've got our Hampshire, we've got our Suzuya. He takes a chunk, and with one final salvo, our team actually does the unthinkable, as you can see my face on screen here. But it was definitely as a result of our push. Our team, like I said, threw away 4 ships in quick succession early on there, but a shout out to the rest of our team who was actually alive. But yeah, a 3705 total there, and we actually missed out on some XP by not getting in the cap and just a little, a few other XP points. But regardless, 241 there with, 2 dev strikes and just a great showing of how strong the Anchorage can be, as well as sometimes why we play the game, right? Now, I was definitely frustrated, and in most circumstances, those games end up in losses. But there are some people in the community who see a triple division on the other team and they just start crying immediately. Now, I will say that a division of Super Unicums and a triple division running the strongest ships is definitely going to win a lot more games than they lose. But people just automatically think that anyone who gets in a division has a clear-cut advantage. And I'm here to tell you, as we just showed in that game, that is not the case. Now, of course, it was a result of the Reds throwing a little bit, as well as my team kind of regaining our lost position. But that is, to be said, it's a team-based objective game. So play as a team, try and give call-outs, try and be a good team player. And something that a lot of people have a hard time doing is trying to experience the game through others' perspectives. I had a guy endlessly pinging me the other day as I was focused down by a carrier and 4 other ships, kiting them to the edge of the map. And it's stuff like that that just truly bugs me when people don't understand the game. So if you see that, and paying attention to the minimap is what you should do to try and, prevent yourself from looking like a goofy goober, as we have another video coming up where this guy was just being, yeah. Anyway, I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. An epic little replay come back there in the Anchorage. And yeah, we're working on some great videos whenever I drop this one. I love you guys. Appreciate the support. It's been awesome. Aaron out. Peace.